Hello everybody, I'm Steve and welcome to Greenside. Up and down on the allotment today again, and last night I was sorting out some seeds for my next batch of seed sowing coming up soon, and whilst I was going through the different varieties, the flowers were reminding me of my granddad and reminded me of when I was a very small child, how I used to help him mow the lawn. I would help push the lawnmower and I would use the shears and cut the edge of the lawn, make that tidy. He'd show me how to hoe and how to plant potatoes and have prune roses and stuff like this, and it got me thinking, crikey, how young I was then. I was probably no more than 4 or 5, but I adored my granddad, and I was with him sort of a lot of the time when I was young. We actually lived with my grandparents for a time. And it got me to thinking that the amount of time and how long ago that was at my age now. And I'm thinking, crikey, I've been gardening for 50 years. And I am a gardener. And I thought, I am a gardener down here on my allotment plot, but I'm a gardener first and an allotment plot holder second. And I like to grow all things. All through my life I've done various projects. Even when I took up fishing quite seriously, I was involved with a club and we were out planting bank sides and the habitats for wildlife on the site of wherever we were fishing. When I was with the Scouts, I was out laying trees and again clearing ground and planting and stuff for farmers. So all my life, to a greater or lesser degree, I have been a gardener. And to that extent, I don't just grow veg here either. I grow flowers, herbs, fruit, veg, and I want to grow as much as I possibly can. I'm in the doorway now of my big polytunnel. I've got the little polytunnel just over there, and there's another tunnel going out the back where primarily I'm going to be planting a fig, which will go all the way down one side, similar to my grapevine in here. But also in there I want to grow sunflowers. Chrysanthemums are certainly one of them I want to grow in there. For a later crop of flowers sort of into November and December. And also the primary function of that new tunnel will be for propagation. So to increase my stock of plants by division or from root cuttings or from sowing seeds, I want all that to take part in there and be a sort of dedicated area for doing that. So as I say, that's where I'm at. I am a gardener first, an allotment plot holder second, and today I'm going to talk a little bit about flowers on your allotments and the sort of things that you can do with them. So there are many allotment plot standard flowers that many allotment plot people will grow. Sweet peas is one of them here. These are ready for topping actually. When you wait to get 4 sets and you just get to the top of the plant, just take it off. That's it, and that's now done. And what that'll do now is it'll promote growth lower down to bush out so you get more stems. Easy peasy, lemon squeezy, grow them up canes. Put a little bit of chicken wire around the bottom of your wigwams or along your bottom of your structure, just so they can get a start and get gripped and get off and running. Next allotment plot standard, Dahlias. These have just come the other day from Sarah Raven, and again these are easy, big blousy flowers, and they are a standard. They will produce very easily for you, and this is what you get. You get loads of little dangly bits, and however it sort of sits like this, you'll see where it's been cut off. Just there, then that's where that plant grew last year, because they're all grown from plants. So you just simply pop that into some compost in a pot to get it going towards the end of this month into April, and then leave them in decent sized pots. Have I got one handy? No, I mean a bucket wouldn't be too big, to be honest with you, and I'll show you why in a minute. But leave them in compost and encourage them to grow. And when you plant them out, I plant mine out in sort of either late May or into June, and they'll easily be sort of 2 to 3 foot tall. And that's the way I grow my dahlias. Now, these tubers are packed full of starch, so that's its power to get it going in the year, but you will need to feed and feed like mad. So if you can get some horse manure under it, some rotted manure underneath it, or some compost, garden compost, whatever, they will appreciate that. Now, these will grow, these roots will grow, and eventually you can divide them and you can take cuttings from them. But one I got last year that was like this, I'll show you now, after 1 year's growth, and that's it. There's a fair bit of difference, don't you think? So this plant's going to do marvellous this year. I've managed to get it through the winter, which is a feat in itself. But look at the size of some of those things. So this plant is going to be belting this year. I've got a stock of them. I've got those Sarah Raven ones, and I've got a few more on the way because I love them. You can get great big blousy flowers from them, where you might only need 7 or 8 to fill a vase. And it's another crop and another harvest that you can take home. So, you know, don't overlook dahlias. So another one you can grow is from bulb. These Gladiolus. I think they're going kind of out of fashion, but I think if you've got a nice vase of flowers that you've grown on your allotment or in your garden at home, and you've got a couple of Gladies sticking out of it, it just extends that presentation and makes it more wowy and showy. And it's just they're just little corms, little bulbs, not dissimilar from an onion. Pointy bit at the top, root bit at the bottom. Plant them down. I've even seen these where somebody has planted them upside down deliberately, and they will right themselves. It's the right way up. Clever little things they are. So they're Gladies, and I'll be planting them soon. Another standard for allotment plots is chrysanthemum, and I've got some growing here from seed, which I'm going to prick out now. I'm just going to grow them on in modules for planting out later on. They will, if they're a tall chrysanthemum, I don't think these are very tall, they will need staking, and they do need a bit of cosseting chrysanthemums, but you can grow them. So these are just diddy bop seedlings. But I will be getting some specialist chrysanthemums, hopefully sometime this year. I don't know, I've got a lot to sort out yet for that other tunnel. Like, I've got to build it first. But yeah, they'll come along eventually. I mean, I have grown them outside here before, but they can succumb to the weather outside. So they do need that cosseting, I feel, to grow well. And say another easy flower is sunflowers. I won't be sowing those yet. A couple of weeks towards the end of the month. Yeah, there's some chrysanthemum potted on. And the other flowers I've got here, mostly I've got some Nigella. This is all cut flowers and a mix of cornflowers there, varying types and colours. Cornflower are a really good value plant and shouldn't be underestimated. You'll only get sort of stems, I don't know, 12 to 15 inches tall, but for a little tiny vase, a little glass, if you like, of flowers, a few cornflowers in there, a couple of cosmos, and bang, you got a beautiful windowsill flower arrangement. So there you go. So we're going to pot on some of these Nigella as well next. So I'm just really testing the water with this video, because in general I did find last year that people weren't watching the flower videos that I did, and if people aren't watching them, I don't want to be producing them. I don't want to be boring people or sending them to sleep. So if people aren't enjoying them, if the figures aren't there, I will still always show me planting the flowers and sowing them, but I won't make as big an effort towards doing it as perhaps I could. So we'll see how this video does and then go from there. So this is Nigella. You might know it as Love in a Mist. These are perhaps a little bit small for potting on, but we'll go with it anyway. What's the worst that could happen? They could die. Just a couple of those first ones I didn't really have any roots on much at all to speak of. So we'll see how they do. So do let me know, please, if you could, what flowers you're intending to grow this year, and whether you're growing them for cut flowers or if you're growing herbs to use in your cooking, or even, I know some people, and it's somewhere I haven't been to yet, some people use and grow herbs as remedies and cures, and you know, might be for curing headaches or something. So I'll be interested in all that as well. It's an area that I haven't really looked at in gardening. It's somewhere I'm keen to go. But anyway, I'll finish potting these on. So there we go, there's some Nigella done. Loving a mist. Then with the chrysanths. So there we go. So I've got my little watering tray here, and those plants that I've just potted on, just float them in there until I see the moisture's been taken up all the way up to the surface. Thing is, if I use a watering can or a hose pipe on those little tiny plants now, I'll destroy them, I'll bend them over and break the stem, or bruise and damage it, which will later let disease in and kill them. So I'll just leave them there. I'll go and pot something else on, and eventually when I come to put those out to water, these will be soaked through and I can put them in the little tunnel with the rest of the plants. And don't forget, if you've got flowers in your garden, you're also going to be attracting pollinators in to pollinate your fruit and veg as well, which is very important. I mean, things, for instance, like runner beans, you just get no beans if you don't get fruit set, and pollinators do that for you. Okay, so that's it for this one. Look after yourselves, everyone. Please let me know in the comments what you thought of this video. I'll see you very soon. Ta-ra now.